Alright, guys, what's going on? Be live, I believe. Alright guys, well we got quite a bit of work to do today. Alright, so we're going to work on trying to switch some of this out. Alright, so we're going to come back and grab that coal car. Okay. Okay. Alright, we're gonna come on back and get these couple cars. Alright guys, we'll get this connected up and then we're going to head on out to head up to Whittier, change this in Whittier, get all the track stuff switched out in Whittier. Alright, we got somebody going to be jumping in with us to help us run some trains. New crew. Hey, what's going on?
Oh, hi, hello.
Hey, howdy.
I'm here. Hi.
Hmm.
Oh, all right.
I can, yeah. You're coming in loud and clear.
Cool.
I'm streaming to Twitch if that's okay.
Hi, Twitch. I don't care now.
Okay, cool.
You want me to watch my mouth or?
No, I don't care. It just I
Okay.
wanted to let you know that I was doing it in case you had a problem with it, and then we
No.
could come up with a different solution, or I just not include the Discord audio.
No, that's fine.
So
Right.
we've never played Railroads Online, huh?
No, so I think about the time I joined the server is when I kind of just tried to stay away from Railroads Online.
Okay.
It, it is one of the games I own. um, but yeah, we never played Railroader. No.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
Um, right. You said the server was up.
Yeah, so it should
Um,
be Chili Mountain Railroad.
okay. No, not the join button.
And then I'll assign you a crew. So right now I've got a cut of cars going to Bryson and Whittier. I'll just drop them in Whittier East. And
Okay.
then if you want to switch out the stuff, hold on here a sec. I have a button to push to talk, and I'm coming into. No, I'm gonna derail. Oh, I'm gonna derail.
All right. Cool.
I'm surprised I didn't derail. Uh, that's shocking.
All right. Cool. We're not. This isn't that much.
Yeah, so I'm only on day 8, so I'm not too bad. I'm
All right.
not too worse off probably than maybe you are. I don't know. What day are you on? Do you know?
I think I'm on like day 30, something like that,
Oh wow.
because I've just
Okay,
been
so
playing
you're
this game
way
the whole.
ahead of me.
Oh no, we're about the same point. I think. Just looking at the milestones, I'm not that much far ahead. So
If you're on day 30 though, you got to be moving tons of freight.
not that really, honestly. It's because I have everything set at I think tier 3, tier 2 ish contracts just to keep the workload on me not too extreme because it is
Okay.
just all me. But um, I except for I have the coal mine. That's tier 5 because I love doing coal drags. Um, you said you were bringing a cut up to East Whittier, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, how's the sawmill looking? Because I can run that too if you want me to.
Yeah, so if you can do the sawmill and then switch this cutout that I'm going to bring you to in Whittier and then run the remaining cars up to Bryson and switch them out. I'm going to deal with the remainder of what's in the interchange, which is another load of stuff to go to Bryson and then Dillsboro.
Alrighty. Yeah, that works.
So yeah, if you want to if the skeleton cars I think are at the sawmill currently, if they're empty, you can run that load up, and then there's 4 on the one siding track halfway up the mountain. You can bring them back down with you if you want. And then
uh,
about the time you get back down the mountain, I should probably be there with this load from Whittier to Whittier.
all right.
And then just
Uh,
keep an eye out for the passenger train because that'll be coming along at some point too.
is that number 100?
Yeah, yeah, and it's on
Okay.
AI, so it if as long as you just manually control it when you get around Whittier proper, there's a fuse in the track at Whittier
Okay.
proper to stop it at Whittier. Um, so when you see it stop there, if you want to just throw the fuse at the back of the train cars to get them to stop, like even with the station,
So
it'll
you want me to just get the passenger train lined in for the station?
it should already be lined. It should be already ready to
Yeah,
go to
yeah,
the
I know.
station.
I am not able to interact with anything.
Yeah, let me
Do I
give
have
you
to?
permissions. Let's see. I
All right.
think you need.
I believe it's
Uh,
crew.
Brew. Okay. See if that gives you permissions to do stuff.
Yeah, I can run stuff now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so just keep an eye on the passenger train. I'll try to maintain it while I'm doing my other stuff, but just
Um,
kind of keep an eye out for it because it's headed towards you at Whittier.
yeah, it's down at
Wilmot,
Wilmot right now,
yeah.
so um, yeah, I'm gonna do the maybe. Hmm. Oh, the cutout's out. That's why. Okay.
Yeah, I turned to some of that stuff on because I always have problems getting the right engine selected.
All right. So
And you should have plenty of fuel and everything for that train, but if you don't, um, is there a coal car there sitting at the interchange at Whittier?
there's not at Whittier, but there is something on the coal tower. There is a loaded coal car on the coal tower.
Okay,
So
there's a car on the conveyor there.
yeah,
Okay,
so we're gonna fuel up here. I am going to.
I couldn't remember if I swapped that car out or not. I know I just recently emptied it.
I'm gonna wait for the passenger train to pass before because I'm gonna run these skeleton flats up to Connolly.
You're
And I'll
probably
just,
good if you jump out onto the main. You'll beat the passenger train before it gets there.
oh, and it's stopped at Wilmot too. Okay.
Yeah, so you're good.
All right.
Just go ahead. Just make sure you throw the switches
Yeah. That's,
for the siding at the sawmill and the one for Connolly when you go through them. Just put them back to the main.
I gotcha. And do you want the passenger train to? How's it looking on fuel and stuff?
It's good. It should be good.
Okay, so
It should
just
be able
run.
to make it all the way up to Bryson, and then we'll fuel it in Bryson.
Okay.
I usually do it in Dillsboro, but I forgot and just sent it while I was messing around with the interchange.
Alrighty. Um, it looks that should get up to.
All right, it's getting released from Wilmot, so it's headed to
Yep.
you.
I'll check it when it's getting closer to Whittier because it might need to hit the water tower, but coal wise it's doing good. But I'll get it when it gets up to the that next to the station.
Okay, yeah, that would be great.
Ah, all right. This is my first time actually playing multiplayer on this. Now that I think about it,
Oh, nice, cool.
like one of the first times. I got it for one of my non-trained friends, and they don't. I don't know if they're a fan of it, because we don't play for long when we do. But it is very nice not having to do everything by yourself.
Yeah, anytime if you see me on, and you need some help or whatever, yeah, just holler.
Alrighty.
I've been playing, so I was actually playing with a couple of folks last night, and streaming on his railroad, and he's like, I don't know, almost to Nahana,
Not a
whatever.
holler, however you say it.
Yeah, Nanahala. I can't pronounce it
Alrighty.
for crap.
Yeah, that's
Um,
about where I'm at.
but he's moving like I think he's on tier 5 for almost everything. Like he gets like
Oh god.
2 deliveries at his interchange, like 4 hours apart. So he's
I
moving like tons and tons and tons of freight.
I'm about to that point. I know I've had to. I forget what I think it's interchange to interchange or whatever it is. But it just because of how much stuff I was getting at the interchanges, and I like doing everything all at, like right at the start of the day, because I don't have that much power to be. I think I have more switchers than I do actual road engines.
Okay.
Um, brain melted. I don't remember what I was trying to say.
What your switchers or road engines or like the amount of
I
load
was going somewhere
cars?
with it. It'll come back to me. Oh right. Um. Yeah, I could not imagine trying to do tier 5 stuff on mine.
Yeah, it was actually kind of interesting. I was helping him organize his last night, like giving him. He had put together like a rough idea of like what his process was when stuff got delivered and like a rough timetable of like when stuff should leave to go up to like Bryson. And I got looking at what his like loads and stuff look like, and I'm like, yeah, we should like reorganize that to make it more efficient.
I've got a system like that. I think. Not like something set in stone because it's just me playing, but I try and get everything out of. Because I go from the interchange because I have everything's sealed at Silva, and I send it all to the Dillsboro yard,
Yep.
and then I kind of sort everything out, and then I used to have my interchange set at 6, but I set it up. But I try and get everything out by 2 hours after because I get shinied a lot of times, so it works somewhat, but I have I think I've tried setting up where I have a train that goes Whittier to Bryson, stops at Bryson, and then that goes down to like Robinson Cole,
Okay.
just to kind of split it up a little bit easier. Because I forgot the grade on this. Throw this before I forget.
Yeah, just watch the speed on that too. If you want to just throw a fuse at the end of the, or just put it in yard or road mode and let it run up the mountain, you can do that if you want as well.
Alrighty.
And then just kind of babysit it if you want, or check on the
I was looking at the
passenger train. Yeah, I only have 3 engines at the moment, so there's not a whole lot we can do while AI's doing stuff.
Yeah. What are you looking like on? Okay, yeah. I'm gonna set.
But yeah, we did like a 56 or 57 car train double headed up to Bryson yesterday.
Oh, jeez.
And then when I got up to Bryson, I resorted that train and then basically put almost 90% of it back in a single train to take up to Robinson Cole, Alaka, and the bridge to Nantahala or whatever.
I was gonna say, was that all to Bryson or was it spread out? Oh my.
Yeah, it
goodness.
was like a bunch of cars to the coal mine in the Gap, a bunch of cars to Alaka, and then a bunch of the bridge cars for the bridge to Nantahala or whatever.
All right.
But so I figured out like when stuff comes in, if you sort it correctly, like you can basically break the train in half at Alarka Junction and then use the Y at the junction there to back up into the coal mine.
Oh, all right.
So you can like do triple headers and then break the train up when you get up on the mountain and then dump stuff where it goes.
What I used to, or what I've been doing with Robinson is I'll take all of the cars up and then I'll basically go into where like all the loaded cars go. I go into there, split the train up, and then just push everything into the loading track, and that seems to work for me right now.
Okay.
I haven't thought about using the Y up there to turn the train around before you push up.
Yeah, that's the way I was looking at. I was looking at it the other day, and I figured out that if you put the Alarka stuff on the back of the like whatever goes above or beyond Bryson. So when your interchange gets serviced, take Bryson, put it at the front, or put all the stuff that gets put all the stuff that gets switched in Bryson on the end, and then you can drop that when you go through Bryson. Then you put all the stuff that goes beyond Bryson ahead of all the stuff that goes to Alarka. And if you
Alright.
have a locomotive sitting at the junction in Alarka, you can kind of do this weird, like, through the Y and then up the leg that continues on up to, like, Nanahala or towards, like, Andrews. And you can just pick the Alarka stuff off the back with the locomotive that's sitting in Alarka Junction. And then run Alarka up the branch. And then if you have another locomotive at the end where you've, like, doubled up the locos, you can split the Cumberland Gap stuff, go up the Alarka branch a bit, and then back down the Y, and then up into the coal mine backwards.
Where's Cumberland at? Is that down in Alarka?
Did I say
Where's that?
Cumberland?
Because I haven't gotten to what's the word I'm looking for? Or
I don't think there
Yeah, I
is a
haven't gotten to
Cumberland. I don't know
Alarka.
where you got. Did I? If I said Cumberland, I didn't mean Cumberland.
Okay. I'm gonna. I've got the log train on AI, so I'm gonna real quick take over on the passenger.
Okay, yeah. If you just move the fuse to the back, like where the car, so I just run the passenger train in reverse coming back, so it just pushes the coach cars.
All right. Yeah.
So if you just throw a fuse at like the back, kind of where the coach car is gonna like line up with the station, it'll just take off when it's done. Like when you're ready to
Okay.
go, just throw a fuse on the track there behind it, and it'll just
And
take
you
off
want
and
me
go.
to send it to Bryson?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to um when it gets up to Bryson, you want me to redo or recheck all the passenger things?
Yeah, you can do that,
Okay.
and then send it back. And then just check its coal and water and stuff. Like maybe disconnect it while everybody's unloading, and
Yeah. All right.
fill it and water it, and then put it back on the train.
Okay. This is about. So I'm gonna remove you. Let that run into the siding. These are all going to.
Yeah, you can push all of them up in there. They should all
Okay.
fit.
I was making sure they were all going to L2 and there wasn't anything different like how I have mine. Blah.
Yeah, I don't have enough skeleton cars for it. I only have the little four cut down at the lower siding, and then those 8.
All right.
I need to get more at some point, but I haven't gotten there yet. Yay, we're loan free. Woohoo!
Nice.
We're in the black.
Yippee! Oh, I think I've got like a 40K loan on my save, and I just haven't remembered to pay it off yet. These were these.
Yeah, I purchased a couple cars and a couple the locomotive, the Pacific, and then was opening up way more trackage than I probably should have. Way too early, probably, but
It pays for itself. I know. I think if you're down at the paperboard, if you got any of that, and you've got the pulpwood, that pays really well.
oh, really?
Um,
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't
yeah.
have any pulpwood cars yet, which that's the next one on my list is to start working on pulpwood.
So I think roughly I get like 1,500 per 350 tons that I take down there, which is about 7-ish cars.
Okay.
Um, and I've got both of the industries down at the paperboard, so that's like 14 cars I have to take down there at a time, and that's assuming that I don't have to take down more because I'm very forgetful and yeah. So you could get like $3,000 at the end of the day from there. And you said there was a cut of 4. Okay, yeah. Easy there. Check passenger. Get you. All right, you've got the. So I sent that to. Okay. you run it at road? How do you set the speed? You just set it to 45.
Yeah, I normally set it to about 35.
Okay. Oh, did I set it off too early?
Yeah, well, I think I set it off too early. I just was looking at the
Okay.
passengers, and there were 10 people for Bryson, and there was space on one of the cars, so I'm going to back it back
Oh,
up
okay.
there and grab them 10 people.
Number 2.
But I got it at the moment, so.
All right. So what's your how you feeling about this game? What do you think?
I really like it. Yeah, I really like it.
It's I think this is one of the more rewarding games that I've found recently that I really like playing.
Yeah, I've been following it for a while, and I wasn't really sure what to expect until I actually got it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, no, this is a cool game. This is gonna be a cool game. Like this is cool. When I was watching the like previews of the gameplay on, I don't know, YouTube or Steam or Twitch or whatever the ones where I was watching it on, um, it was a little unclear of like what the gameplay was actually gonna be like, because I don't know that it had been completely developed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, yeah, I'm really liking it. I kind of wish Railroads Online was a bit more like this.
I think that the Railroads Online team are I really hope that they look at all of the other games that have been coming out recently and really just I don't want to say directly copy, but like look at what they're doing right and do their best to try and implement something because like the one thing I really like about this game is I guess the management aspect. I feel more rewarded running this than I really ever did with Railroads Online, and I think a part of it is just with the amount of quality of life stuff there is in this game.
Yeah, yeah,
Look, man, I don't have to launch like 2 extra third-party applications just to play this game. I'd say it's like a peg higher so far.
right? Yeah,
um, and I mean no ill will to the Railroads Online team because I know they're trying, but I don't know. This game probably I think when it first was announced when I found it, it looked boring to play, which is one thing I was really worried about having that like, oh, I've got this game, but it's just boring to play, like a lot of train sim games are, right?
yeah,
Whereas this is more, okay, we're gonna set this train, we're gonna send it off, let's go do the other thing, and there's so much that you can do, and it's not just sit and look at pretty scenery, which I love that, because it's engaging.
yeah. Yeah, I've been talking with a bunch of people about it, and yeah, there are still some things that like quality of life issues that would be nice. If they could improve the AI to like just like if the AI is assigned to a passenger train, or be able to assign the AI to like a crew that's a passenger train that can then decipher, okay, I need to stop at all the stations without having to
So
have the stupid fuses.
they're planning on that. That is currently their short-term goal is getting that. I know so if you have the route manager mod, it does something similar to that,
Okay.
just without you'll still have to babysit it mildly by setting switches and stuff, but you don't have to worry about the fusees, and it will also automatically tick
The
the
cars.
boxes. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll automatically do that. It just doesn't stop for water and fuel and stuff, but it does take a bit of a load off on you, and you can just let it run. I think it's really helpful. But I know, and are you in their Discord?
Yeah. Yeah, I am. I
Okay.
haven't followed it super closely, but yeah.
So they posted something on, I think it was Christmas Eve, of I think an AI feature that they were doing where you could like say I want you to go pick up this, and it was going to like flip switches and everything for you, which I am all for that. That looks so cool, and I think they might have that like follow the a switch list if you have that set up. I don't know though. I don't really remember because I haven't watched it in a minute. Um,
I
but
feel like that would be really kind of hard to do because if the cars are like if the car you need to switch is buried, the software would have to interpret that, oh, there's other cars in the way. I need to pull that one out. Like I don't know if that would work, but it would be nice to be able to say like you go from here to there. Like you go from Silva to Bryson or Dillsboro to Bryson, and it just like auto follows the signals or switches or whatever on its way
yeah,
to
yeah,
Silva to Bryson. Like a yard to yard transport would be like really useful where you could just send it while you're switching other stuff and it would just run its course
yeah. I
and
would.
put itself in a side. You know, if you say, hey, the freight trains yield to the passenger train, then as they're getting close, the freight dives off on a siding when it gets to one where it can let let the passenger train go by.
So I've got the video up right now, just clicking through it because it does have text.
Okay.
You give the AI a target, and it apparently plans a route. This is just it's in development, um, and it's really cool what it looks like. And
Okay.
I really hope that it works out, and it's not gonna be just we're gonna announce this feature and then never go for it. That's one thing I've really been fearing. These devs are really great. I love them, but it's just a little bit of a anxiety of mine, especially with how a lot of other train games go. Like you get promised, and then you pull a dovetail, and then the promises you package in $30 for the next game.
Yeah, which hopefully that won't happen, but we'll see, I
One
guess.
thing I will say that I'm really excited for is when they eventually added modding support,
Added
because
what?
I mod support
Oh,
with the
mod
Steam
support.
Workshop
Yeah.
stuff. Because one thing that my gut says is I feel like this is going to be very similar to trains. Is how I kind of like the modding space and how I interpret it. Because I feel like there's gonna be like paid stuff because I mean most train games have that, which I'm all for. But there's also a lot of like freeware, I guess, with the Steam Workshop. But I'm just excited to see how this game goes. And so far, I've gotten my money's worth out of it, which
Yeah.
for a lot of games that I've played recently, it's few and far in between. Hello, words hard. Few and far in between, unfortunately.
Okay,
Um,
so I'm back down in Whittier. I'm
alrighty,
gonna stop just about at the freight station. The log train won't get down that far.
I'm currently um controlling the number two right now, so I'm gonna. Do you? Where are you dropping this off at exactly?
I'm gonna drop the cut that I'm with on right now by the freight depot, the engine
Okay.
house here in Whittier.
Alrighty.
And then it looks like a large majority of it's going to go to the sawmill, and then there might be a few things up to East Whittier or Whittier proper, I guess.
Gotcha.
Um,
Uh,
yeah, Whittier sawmill, then Sezel, and then the East Whittier diesel stand. So, which is right on top of the coal chute where the
yeah,
diesel stand is.
I gotcha.
So if you want to work on switching those out when you get back down, I'm gonna go
Yeah,
back down to Sylvia and get the rest of what I got down there. And
it'd be a bit easier. Are you going back to? Okay, you're going back to hit that. Never mind. I was gonna say if you were just gonna run around, it would have been easier to shove, but you got it. This am I? No, this is the. How fast can you go on this curve? I wonder. I'm not gonna risk it. Where am I at? Where's the...
You're almost to the Y.
Yeah, I think I'm good for 25, but I'm just playing it safe and staying at 20.
But yeah, so far I really do like this game. It's really interesting. I was talking with somebody that if you follow the line that goes out past like the Appalachian hardwoods,
Hardwood?
like that line goes out there for a ways.
Yeah, I've sent a couple trains down there accidentally.
Well, the line there doesn't go very far past the hardwoods place. But if you actually like follow it in the Skycam, like it follows the river there for a long way. You can go a long way away from the map. Like it's a populated map and there's rail line out there.
I wonder why, because I know there's another line like that up at the Silva interchange. There's two of them. There's a big stretch that like I guess follows the cliffside next to it, which I don't.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if like because it's early access, if this is just a smaller section of map and eventually like we'll be able to expand into bigger, more direct like more directions.
From what I understand with their map, because that little spur at the, or I get, yeah, that little at the interchange at Silva is where the southern main line starts, I believe, and then down at Andrews is where I forget which railroad it is, but I know there's another Andrew, wherever the big Emma came from, um, which I forget which rail line that is. They also interchange down there. I believe that this is just the Murphy branch for now, but I could always be mistaken. That's just going off of memory. I don't know how they would expand this map past how they have it, unless one thing I really want to see is like more, I guess, sightings in certain places and a little longer. And I know there's a couple places where a crossover would have saved me in a couple, like I forget where exactly, but I know one. Let's
Yeah, there are a couple spots where it feels like they could have had a few more crossovers or like switchbacks or stuff to get stuff positioned better.
And I mean, especially because one thing to play devil's advocate, it's not prototypical or something like that, but which I guess might explain why they didn't do that. But granted, we're not playing as the Southern Railroad; we're playing as our own railroad, which I think realistically, in a lot of these places, yeah, there might have been some track work done. One thing I wish is, there's no yard lead down at the Dillsboro yard, which is rather frustrating at times when I'm trying to build a train and I'm also trying to run the passenger train. I have to foul the main for however long I'm trying to, because I think the longest track that they have down there is 30-ish cars, and no, 28 is the longest car, or the longest siding. And when you're trying to shove 50-ish cars into it, doesn't really work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was the
So
only thing I saw that I was kind of like, wow, that's kind of a weird, goofy setup. Is like the whole Sylvia end seems really strange. Like the paper mill is between your yard and the interchange, which seems like a weird choice.
what's more, it's definitely strange, but I think a more frustrating aspect is there's no water tower down there,
Yeah, that's
and it's
true
up in
too. Yeah, down
Dillsboro,
at Sylvia at the interchange, there's not a water station there.
which I think is modeled realistically, but that's on the assumption that you could access past the Silva interchange. Like for I think having just a water tower at Silva would be really helpful, especially before you have, because I eventually just switched over to using diesels between Dillsboro and Silva because there's no water towers there.
Yeah, to alleviate the having to run back to Dillsboro all the time to get water,
Yeah.
especially when you're trying to move big cuts of cars around. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
get that.
And I think, especially because of how much train I was having to pull back, the one thing I will say is before you get pulpwood going, it's definitely advisable to get a little bit more power behind that because I think the 14 car trains that I have are really heavy.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I
they're like
definitely want to upgrade into some bigger locomotives before I get into pulpwood production.
my right now I think my favorite engine that I've been using are the P43s.
Okay.
I just like the big Pacific, and it's really fun to shove the passenger train, but on a colt drag. Um, but I think what I started doing was using was the Decapod for the main road trains for a while because they're average, they're good. Um, but I think I don't know. That's just how I do things. I think the Connie's a little bit slightly weaker, but I was also looking at water capacity because of how much space there is between water towers sometimes. Um, I know there's a stretch of railroad that I just don't let the passenger train run that I've got because it's very dry there. You're stopped up at Bryson. Do you want me to get the passenger train, or you?
I
Where are
can
you
I
at?
can grab it.
Okay. Um, I'm shoving back down to here. How big is this? Because I think I can run
All right, still waiting for people to get off.
around. How's it looking on fuel and stuff?
It's still got four tons of coal and 3,000 gallons of water, so I think it should be even okay to come back on that.
It only used like a wow. That's not okay. When it was at Whittier, it had 4.1 tons, so it did not use anything.
Yeah, it's still at 4.1 tons.
Goodness gracious! Maybe I should have invested in that instead of the Atlantic, because that thing. I mean, the Atlantic is really good, but it drinks water and
I mean,
what's
it
the
may also depend on how many coach cars you have too, right? Like two
um?
cars isn't really that much weight
Oh
you're
yeah,
tugging
true.
along. Yeah, it's
So
only
I think
68 tons, so it's not burning hardly anything.
before I was running, I think I think two of the how do you say it? The Osgood Bradleys. I had two of those, and then a couple of the Pullman Palaces. I'm gonna just call them heavyweights because that's what they look like to me. Pretty sure that's what they are. I could be mistaken though. So I probably had something a lot heavier.
I mean, these are the Pullman 1900s, so I mean they are
Yeah.
not not light cars.
No. I really wish I know it wouldn't make sense realistically, but I wish that the stainless steel streamliners were in this.
That would be
I
kind
think
of fun, though. I mean, it would be.
and I just like how pretty they look. Um
I mean, if this is a fictional railroad, why not? Like, throw them in. You know, if people buy them, people buy them.
so I think a lot of it I don't know. I know it's been suggested a couple times. Um but I think they'd be especially for some of the lighter power that you get in the start of the game, the stainless steel cars would probably fit a bit better because you can get them, 50, 60, 70 seater coaches. I think I've seen some of them, like floor plans, have like 80 seats in them, which is just absurd to me. But like, 50 seat coach with, or I guess 60 seat would make more sense. Like, what, 50 tons of car or something like that? I don't know. Just kind of spitballing. Um, that and they're just pretty. They're pretty cars, and I think they're. How long are they on average? Are they 80 foot or?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't imagine. I would imagine they'd be roughly about the same size as the coach cars that are in the game currently, or equivalent.
Um, and with them, depending on what company, because they all kind of look similar, but like you get the car base, and it's not that hard to change the window pattern and floor plan, and you've got a very customizable coach with just modeling the exterior, and that's just my brain simplifying things, probably to an extent it shouldn't, but who's counting?
Yeah, we were talking the other night that it would be really interesting to see some additional industries pop up on the map in future
Yeah.
updates that like a power plant or a something where you actually you have to buy coal cars and do your own coal drag to the power plant.
Yeah,
The more like more inner railroad industry where you have to purchase your own cars to haul the goods.
One thing I really hope that they do soon-ish, I don't know. I remember this was like one of the first suggestions I made when the game first came out, was there are a lot of industries that don't have much to say, hey, this is the industry part, which I think all they could do is just place a platform down for that. And even
Yeah.
so, I think it'd be cool to have an oil industry or some sort of refined fuel. Like with a power plant, I don't know how realistic an oil or a gas plant would be for this time period.
Yeah, I don't
But stuff
know.
like
I
that would
mean,
be cool.
for that, I don't know, but you could do an oil loading platform, like loading
Yeah,
crude oil onto tank cars. The other thing you could do is like grain hoppers and a flour mill, where you're servicing both the grain mill or the grain like storage facility, and then taking it to a flour mill that's getting also box cars to load with the produced flour.
something like
Um,
that might be in plans. I don't want to go out and assume, but I do know there is a covered hopper in game already. So I would like to see something like that, because I'm from the Midwest, and grain trains are kind of my bread and butter. So seeing just a long drag of covered hoppers is very pretty for me. So
yeah. The other one I thought would be kind of interesting is if you did like I mean, kind of off the back of the grain train, you could also do grain to like a feedlot where you
yeah,
then have to transport the cattle to like a meat packing plant and then refrigerated reefers with the meat back to other places. And then do the same with like I don't know if this time period would be like ice houses or not, but probably you could do like an ice house where they have to go get ice for the reefer cars.
I don't.
I don't know. It's hard because with the transition of steam to diesel, like that was about the time ice houses were phasing out for like powered refrigeration too. So
I think I don't know if there's ever been like a actual answer of when this game is set, but I've kind of honed it down to sometime in the late 50s. So
yeah,
I
when
don't
they
know.
start transitioning from diesel
Yeah,
or to into diesel.
I don't know when mechanical reefers came about. Um, I can look in.
I would assume it would be in about that same time period.
Um,
Because I think you were starting to see like modern vehicles when they were transitioning out of steam into diesel, like modern vehicles were starting to have AC and refrigerated air conditioning, and like all of that stuff had kind of come to fruition about that time.
yeah, it looks like they the mechanical reefers came about in like it looks like as like early 50s is when they started being phased in.
Yeah, so
But
would it be about that same time period where refrigerated reefer cars would be starting to show up? But I
we
mean,
also gotta look.
you could still put it in, and then even at a certain point in the game, like phase out the ice tracks become like a non-used track, like a derelict or like disused or ripped up.
Right, and even so, with this being a short line, there would probably be a lot of those older refrigerator cars that would more than likely be just kind of either scrapped or sold off. Because I mean, freight cars are freight cars. There's no, you know, so I don't think it'd be all that unrealistic to see more of the, I guess, the ice reefers, but I'm not too sure though.
I don't know. Like I said, it's just another really interesting, like, another interesting industry chain that could be explored if they, wanted to.
Yeah, obviously, I think, um, oh, what is it I'm trying to say? I'm focused on, uh, yeah, the switches and stuff. Um, you're good there.
The other one that I thought would be kind of cool is to do like a little bit of an inner city area.
Yeah.
And then do like a wharf or like some sort of water ferry where also acts as an interchange that you pick up cars off the ferry barge,
All right. All right.
which would be kind of interesting. I don't know. Another one of them, like, tons of potential in this game depending on how they want to expand it and explore it, right?
Yeah. One thing I really hope that they don't do is quantity over quality when it comes to updates. Because I know they've been very good with bug fixes and stuff and not, like...
Just throwing stuff at the wall.
Like, yeah, I really hope that they don't suffer from feature creep. Because there's a couple other games that I've been looking at. The one I can know of off the top of my head is Century of Steam, and I'm very worried about that game when it comes out, because I know it's been a joke with me and a couple of my friends of this is just Railroads Online 2, which from what I've heard about it,
it is Railroads Online 2. It's all the original devs.
I know, and I'm very, very worried about feature creep with that game. And even looking at that game looks really good on a sim scale, but it might just be that where it is just a simulator and more, or it just could be Railroads Online 2 and we get to watch hell unfold again.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I think part of the problem is they kind of had a vision for Railroads Online, and the original creator wouldn't really give them the rope to do it.
Yeah, from the Railroads Online, I guess the drama is so... that is the most dramatic train game I've ever seen when it comes to the inner workings of it, but they all had their own vision, and I think it was always they were all butting heads, and from what I'm able to understand, the head developer of Railroads Online is kind of stubborn when it comes to how things are done, which, I mean, makes sense. He's, head honcho, I guess. But also, this is their third dev team.
Yeah.
They're on now, which is absolutely hilarious to me. I shouldn't be laughing because it's really... but
well, so
really
there were a couple things that happened there. So there was a developer that apparently was getting kind of harassed from a bunch of the other devs. At least from what I've kind of gathered and talking to some other people about it recently.
From the first team?
From the most recent team that left. So the most recent before the major software developer took over. So the team like 2 years ago or whatever.
How many teams? Okay, so I know of I guess to simplify it, Heist, I know during that era when he was community manager, there was a team. After he left, there was another community manager, another on their third. So I've kind of just split it up in like 3 different teams like that.
Oh, okay. So then I think it's the first group then.
Okay, then yeah, I know what you're talking about with because I know exactly what all of that was. It was just really, yeah.
Yeah. We don't need to hatch that back up, but
yeah.
But yeah. So I think there was that, and then there was the whole like kind of the initial, the original developer or the head honcho developer kind of holding the reins a bit too tight. And being a bit out of his depth on actually how to write code.
What are they on now? They're like 4th professional like lookover or something like that.
I don't know. I mean, the team that's working on it now seems to know what they're doing, but and I mean, they're actually releasing new features and new. You know, they've had 2 new maps come out. They've got.
Yeah, it's
I mean, it's coming back to life in a big way, but it's the fact that they completely lost their community and like shut everything down and went basically tits up for a year and a half.
yeah.
And
I
it
think
was
that
like,
game.
I think that was just kind of the community went, all right, well, screw you guys. Like, you're not listening to us. You're not fixing any of the bugs. You're just continuously putting new shit in the game.
Yeah. Um. I know. After a while, I got tired because I think I've given. I think I bought the game twice so far, and for having spent as much money for that game as I have and gotten basically fuck all from the developers for like almost a year in between, like between 2 major updates. I don't really have a lot of faith in that team, unfortunately, because I know they're doing good, but I'm just worried, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I've logged like 436 hours in that game. Um,
how many hours do I? When's the last time
so
I
I mean,
played?
I've logged a ton of time in that game, but yeah, for a while there around COVID, they didn't do shit, and it was
Um,
evident.
I somehow managed 1,000 hours in that. Oh my gosh!
You have 1,000 hours in Railroads Online?
Apparently.
Holy shit, son! I mean, I logged 436 hours, and I thought I had like a shit ton of time in there.
That's, I mean, that's how much I've got in Railroader now. I've got like 500 or something. There's been a couple nights I do know where I just forget to shut the game off before I go to bed.
Oh, so
But
it's just sitting there churning.
sitting there turning. But I know with Railroader that hasn't happened a lot because I just sit there and I just play. And I mean, on my own single player save, it takes a whole day sometimes to get in through an in game day.
Yeah, because you're moving
Um,
so much stuff around.
yeah. You're down at Dillsboro,
Dillsboro.
correct?
Yeah, I'm in
Correct.
Dillsboro.
So, I'm going to here in a second. I gotta run up to the. I gotta run upstairs.
Okay.
Once I get, I'm gonna finish this shove that I'm doing. I'm putting stuff into the. All right, there is a fuse at here. Okay. And these switches are lined just so I. And you said there's more stuff to come up to go to Bryson, correct?
Yeah, there's going to be another load to go to Bryson, but I'm going to just take that straight through when I come.
Okay. So, I got you. I've got the other cut for Bryson set out right now because I was just doing the sawmill
Okay.
stuff. So that's currently sitting in East Whittier, so it shouldn't take. I'm just let's. Well, I roll down the hill. Oh my gosh, you don't. Okay, this looks so strange without the yard there. Oh my.
What do you mean?
Whoa. Oh, I just kind of I moved my camera down to where you were because I was.
Oh, in Dillsboro?
Yeah, and there's no yard here, and
Yeah.
that took me by surprise. This looks very strange. Um,
Oh, is that where the
wow.
diesel stand is? Oh, the diesel stand's behind the. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, the diesel stands in a really weird spot there.
I thought it was in the. I thought it was right next to the coal car because that's where it is in Dillsboro. So that's why I was like confused. I'm like,
Um,
why is the car on the maintenance track? And it's not the maintenance track. It's the diesel stand.
so the diesel stand in Dillsboro is right in between the coaling tower and the water tower. Um, which it does kind of that does is a really weird way of putting it. I don't know if that's where the real one was because I'm not too keen on I guess Southern Railroad lore. Um, all of these cars go into all right. How do you have your interchange served? Do you have things blocked by default or do you have it crazy?
It's blocked by default.
Okay. I didn't know if you're one of those people that played with like you got to go through and sort everything because as much fun as that is very stressful sometimes. Um,
Yeah, no, it's set to. I was trying to find the setting for it. Let's see, where is that setting?
it's settings and features
Things.
and the
Okay, yeah, blocked by destination is what it's set to.
I had mine set to just mostly blocked because I wanted to try that out and there were a lot of mistakes that happened when I was doing that, especially because a lot of the tags on top of the cars look the same. So I know it took way longer than it should have to get to. I think I was doing the Alarka Junction to get up to Alarka, and there is an R there, right? There, okay. And I know I made a little bit of an oopsie, and I think I had something that was going to Robinson Cole that just got shoved into there, and then another car just got sent somewhere completely different, and it was just a nightmare trying to get all that sorted out. So, just
Yeah, I'm with you.
I've got yeah. Once I get these two, I've got one car that goes up to Stenzel. That's gonna be. I'll just kick those in. You're not going that. Um,
Yeah, just hang on to them for a minute. The passenger train is pulling into Whittier
yeah.
proper currently. And then
All
as
right.
soon as
So
that
I'll.
gets out of the way, you can run those up and switch that out without having
All
to
right.
deal with the passenger train.
I'm going to run upstairs real quick then
Okay,
while I
yeah,
just
no
wait.
worries. No hurry either, so take your time.
All right.
Don't feel like you need to rush or anything.
It won't take too long. All right, hello, I'm back.
Cool. Welcome back.
All right.
So you should be clear in Whittier for a little bit. The passenger
Alright.
train has already gone by, so you're good.
All right.
Just keep. I'll let you know when I get headed that direction with the Bryson train.
I've only got the one car that I've got to take up to Stenzel, so I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. I think what I got an idea. I'm gonna tuck it on the end of all of this cut that goes up to Bryson and just push it back up in. Should be.
If you put it right behind the locomotive, you should be able to just do the back end switch move with the freight sitting in the siding there. I think there is a train. There is a car there though that needs to go to the Sylvia interchange. So,
I'll check it real quick. It's
I don't remember where that position of that was though. So you might have to do some kick arounds to get it in a position where we can pick it up on the return trip from Bryson back to Silva.
there is a train at Whittier, or sorry, not a train. There is a car at Whittier, but it's up on the house track. The one at Stenzel isn't quite ready to get picked up yet.
Okay. I saw it when I
So-
was looking at the station in Whittier, so I didn't look real close
Yeah.
at what car it was.
That's fine. Oh, jeez, those cars already got a. How are the Connolly cars looking? Those are loaded. Okay, so I'll. All right. I guess I can. I can. All right. Because I've got how much space is there between that? Where's that's 7 cars, which is about. All right. That'll work. Get you stopped. All right, that's good enough. It's very strange having things not accelerate super quick.
What was that?
It's really weird having things that don't accelerate super quickly. I mean, I'm used to more of the mid-game stuff. I am headed up to Whittier though, so I'm trying to think of the best way to go about this. Cause do you want to grab that car that needs to be taken to Silva before or after all the Bryson stuff is taken care of? Because I was gonna grab it, but I don't think I'll be able to. I think it'd make more sense because I'm gonna have to go onto the passing sighting. Are you heading straight to the Bryson, or are you going to stop at Dillsboro first?
No, I'm stopping at Dillsboro.
Okay. So I will leave that car. Okay.
And I'm actually going to drop a chunk of my train in Silva, so I can switch out in Dillsboro without it being in the way and following the main.
Gotcha. So I'll go ahead and hit that and grab that car then. Because it shouldn't be too much. I am game down a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like I need to turn mine down a little. It's crazy loud.
Especially depending on where your camera is.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Because I'm just running in first person right now. Just to I'm gonna be good on. Oh, I can grab some water.
All right. All right, so I'll throw that switch, get into the sighting, and then I can do the switching around in the yard here in that sighting track.
Alrighty.
Oh my god, I'm roasting. This freaking computer is just off gassing so much heat.
Is it now?
Yeah, when I built this computer, I put a CPU liquid cooler on it with a radiator on top with two 120 mil fans blowing out the top.
Oh, jeez.
And it's sitting like right under at my feet, right under the desk. So it's like just radiating heat on my legs.
Is it cold there at least, or is it?
No, it's freaking. I've got so my office is like one of our spare bedrooms that I turned into an office, and I've got a server mounted under the desk right behind me, and then my computer sitting under my desk, like my end of the desk, with two monitors sitting on it, and then a 3D printer on the other. Like my office with the office door shut is like 10 degrees warmer than the rest of our house.
Ugh.
And our house is
I
it's in 70. It's 70 in our house currently, so it's probably pushing 80, 85 in this office right now. It's friggin' hot.
Oh my gosh. Why not open the door up a little bit? Like
I talk really loud, so my wife gets annoyed.
fair. Fair enough.
All right.
Push this back up. The I guess the Stenzel car that's about to be good is probably gonna be. What tier are we
Two,
on for?
two.
Okay.
It's most everything is either tier 1 or tier 2.
Okay. So that
So it's not like
it
a
won't
yeah,
be done
not
till
yeah, not like you're gonna have a huge amount of stuff.
I'm used to stuff being done within the day, so I'm just trying to plan ahead. I don't think it's gonna be done until next interchange serve.
Yeah, it's usually like a day, day and a half for most of my stuff currently. I should I should look and see if we got any updates to anything to see if anything can get serviced quicker, but
All right.
doesn't look like it. Oh, tier 3 on the sawmill.
Okay. Yeah, that's about how I have mine set, I think.
Tier 3 on Senzel. Tier 3 on the oil. Let me go through these other ones real quick and see what else we can update.
All right. How are we? Are you switching over to tier 3 on the sawmill?
Yeah, I switched over to tier 3.
All right. How many?
And most everything in Bryson just went from tier 1 to tier 2.
Okay.
And Elma Farm Supply is tier 2. Whittier Sawmills tier 3. Senzel's tier 3. Heating Oils tier 3. And Conley Creek doesn't have anything. Wilmot, it doesn't have anything. Micah Schist is still tier 1. We don't have anything for the we don't have anything with the pulpwood.
Okay.
Engine house, engine service, Dillsboro Depot, Covered Bridge. Okay. The Locust Pin went to tier 2. Change. Silva Coal is tier 2. And the tannery is no contract because we don't have pulpwood.
Okay. Yeah, the paperboard and the pulp, or paperboard and tannery, I want to get to those at some point, but those take a lot of mental capacity when it comes to. One thing I don't like about the pulp in this game is it takes so long to load that realistically, depending on I think with me, I'm on tier 4 or something, and I have so many pulpwood flats just to try and keep up with the demand because of how long stuff takes to load.
Yeah.
Like the cut of cars I took up to Connolly L2 is already loaded, ready to go, and that's great. But that was within probably an hour, and with that, I think not even a quarter of the pulp would be loaded up, which is it's very slow. I haven't tried any of the like little line side um, pulps. I've only done the Connolly. I started doing Walker as well, but I really don't like the switchback to go up to Walker.
Yeah, Walker seems like a pain in the ass.
It especially because I think the majority of it is a 3%, which is kind of
ridiculous.
Yeah. I currently have a like the minaret that runs it and the little tank engine, and I have to split my train in half and only take 7 cars up at a time, which is it takes so long just to get stuff loaded up. And then I think Walker would be better for like logs and stuff if you really needed it, but I don't know.
I don't see a reason to go up into Walker. Like everybody I've talked to, like there's no reason to use Walker at all.
I used it just because it's like I can have a couple more pulpwoods on like emergency, I guess. But yeah, the only thing I can realistically see Walker being good for is if, say, you really had to keep up with logs, but I don't think that having a dedicated log train is all that useful, to be honest. Especially because the only industry here that uses it is the sawmill, and Connolly does a decent enough job if you're able to get all of the tracks with cars loaded up. Especially because of how quick stuff there is able to load up. Like, let's see here.
Well, and you can do a set of 8, and then the upper ones will take 13. You can do 4 on the or 5 on the low one, and then what 8
Yeah,
on
you
the
got
upper one, or 10 on the upper one, something
the
like that.
upper
You can get
one.
like 13 in one cut and 8 in the other cut.
Yeah, and that's what I think it's the upper one is 7, because I think it's a cut of like 11 cars or so that I dragged down because it's just barely enough to fit into the siding. There's no fuse up at Ella, right?
There is one there, but it's at
Okay.
the passenger station.
I'm just letting AI run this for now, just to get it up to speed because I completely forgot to stop for water. Oopsie. We'll be fine. There's not much of a grade on this stretch, I don't think. How am I looking on? Oh, I'll be fine. It'll buff.
Yeah, you'll probably be okay.
I was just looking. I'm right at tonnage if I'm hitting a 1%, but I don't think there's any like steeper grades between Ella and
Bryson?
Bryson.
No, there's not really much anything. It's fairly flat.
I think I know there's a grade if you going out to Bryson on because you can kind of see it on the map, the little S bend between right off the river to Hemingway. That I think that's like a 1 or 1.5. It's rough, and you got to hit that at speed too with some things. It's kind of crazy, honestly.
Okay. My loco's in the yard at Dillsboro. I'm gonna fuel the passenger train here quickly at Dillsboro as well, and then I'll send that down to Silva.
Alrighty.
Since we didn't fuel it in Bryson, we should probably throw some fuel in it.
Yeah.
I like I'm liking having people to play with on my streams more because then at least I have somebody to talk to. I'm not just sitting talking to myself.
Yeah. That's one thing I wanted to stream for a little bit of time, but it more or less just turned into me talking to the wall,
Yeah.
and that's no fun.
Yeah, it's a little bit like, oh man. Until you get like a developed stream group, right, or it's a developed channel
Yeah.
where you got lots of people watching all the time. Yeah, it's a bit of like I feel like I'm going insane talking to myself at the wall. Like this is ridiculous.
So I've noticed something. On this, this S, or it's not really an S bend. It's just this curve right between here and Ella that's got the 30-mile posts,
The
the 30 mile
bridge,
an hour. Not the bridge, but it's just 30 mile an hour, and then right after that, it's another 30 hour mile or 30. Oh my gosh, words are hard. Um, it doesn't make a lot of sense for them to both be there, I guess. At least because like the one direction you already know you're at a 30, and I guess it's a little confusing because like I know that you can go faster than 30 between Ella and the bridge, but it still says that this area is around 30 mile an hour. So um,
yeah, I think it's just that it's the sharp curve there for the bridge when you come off the bridge.
I'm going to real quick take care of this car that goes to the farm supply.
Okay, yeah, do what you need to. I've got the passenger train down here at Silva with me, so
Okay. That's what I was mostly. I'm not gonna be fouling the main because there's this. I'm just was more worried about because I do have to run around the train.
Yeah, you're gonna have some time. Even after it gets down to Silva, we get it on its way back. It's still gonna have to go through Silva, Wilmot, Ella, or Whittier, Ella. Like it's still gonna be a bit.
Yeah. I forgot to blow for the grade crowd. It's okay.
Yeah,
There's no people in
I'm
this one.
not. I'm not gonna make you pee in a cup.
I look, man. There's no people around. Nobody saw anything. I think. I don't know. Um, I usually just let AI do this stuff, so it's very nice being able to run stuff and not have to worry.
Yeah, the couple guys I was playing with last night are like, "Well, we'd prefer you to run it all with AI," and I'm like, I can't run stuff with AI. It doesn't takes forever to get stuff hooked up. I can run it way faster with just doing it manually.
I So in a lot of senses, the AI is very. I like how handy the AI is, but I don't think you should run primarily on AI. Like if you're just doing a quick road train, sending it from point A to B, the AI is really handy for that. But that's about the extent of its usefulness.
Yeah, well, he was running. I think he wasn't hardlined into the internet. He was Wi-Fi. So like when people would join his game, like his game would glitch pretty hardcore.
Huh.
And so if you were in the middle of like trying to hook up, you'd like temporarily lose control of your train and then just
Huh.
slam into stuff.
I bet you his safety rating was pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, it was not great. I mean, it was better than mine, but I've
um.
only got a safety rating of 28%. So
Oh my. I've been trying to play super careful because mine's was really sloppy for a while. It got better because I started actually not playing when I was extremely sleep deprived. Cause I stopped running the Connolly branch on my own. I only use AI on that because sometimes I would just forget to set the handbrakes or something, so there just the cut would just start rolling, and then I'd see train derailed or something like that. Go and check on it, and all of my log cars are just in the dirt on that 20-mile-an-hour curve, and I would watch my reputation just tank immediately after that, and it's like, oh no.
yeah, my problem was initially I was having issues jumping between the trains, like between the locomotives. So like I would think I had the locomotive I was looking at selected and it would be the other locomotive. So I would start like running the throttle and then that would crash that locomotive, like it just was driving me crazy that it was not clear like what locomotive I'm like operating. And the like
um,
mechanism to select them is like really wonky. You have to like either click on them on the map or select them out of the like equipment drop down menu or like
I
control click the actual locomotive.
so I discovered that there was a keybind to like quickly select. If you control shift click on something, it just quickly selects it, which is great. I wish it was double click though, or like because I do like the menus that pop up, but a lot of them are very finicky,
Yeah.
I guess, and there's a lot of clutter in them.
Well, it's not even that.
Um,
It's like half the time, like when I select like the engine and the engine window pops up and I do select follow, like half the time it won't select over to that engine. It still
oh
stays
yeah.
with the other engine.
Um, I don't. I think I've had that happen once or twice, but it's usually I can tell when it's not moving because I usually park my engine, go to something else, then like I'll know if I haven't selected because the thing's not moving. Something else on the other side of the map is, so I gotta panic and apply emergency. Oh shoot! Nope, nope, nope. Please don't. Probably should have bottled that, but it's fine.
But yeah, so that's like my. I wish that's one of my creature comforts that I wish they would fix is a better drop down to select AI stuff or to select through the
Yeah,
locomotives.
I think I don't know. At least we have it. um, That's gonna be all right.
The other one that's kind of a pain in the butt is trying to kick cars and getting the glad hands undone while you're trying to kick cars.
Yeah. Um, if you shift click, at least it. I don't know how do you dump the air when you kick, or do you try and keep it bottled?
I try to keep it bottled, but yeah, so
Okay.
you gotta pull the cars or undo the glad hands and shut the valves with air on the car in order for it to roll. Yeah, because otherwise, the minute the hoses break, it would stop.
If you shift click on the knuckle, it
Oh
automatically
yeah.
ties the
Well, not on
the.
the knuckle, on the glad hand, right?
No, you could if you just shift click on the coupler,
It
it
un
closes the angle cocks for you.
it does the angle cocks and unhooks the hose.
So you don't
No.
have to unhook the hoses because when it'll just detach itself.
Oh.
So all you really got to do is when you're like uncoupling, I just shift click and pull away because I mean that's how you're supposed to do it, like with the real stuff because that's 90 pounds of pressure that could fling at you if you're trying to unhook that on your own. So
I
glad
got you.
hand,
Okay, I didn't realize that if you shift click the knuckle, it would disconnect and turn off the glad hands.
yeah, it's. I think if you also shift click on the glad hand, it'll.
Yeah, it does it on the glad hand too, but I didn't
Yeah,
know it
okay.
did it on the knuckle.
That's a key button I tried to drill into my head immediately because I knew there were a couple times where I'd kick and I'd get really mad because I'd forget to tie the air in and then I have to go and redo everything and it just takes way too much time. Oh, this car still needs to be. That in. That'll be good. Throw that on the end. Two to bright. Okay. This will be. That'll be easy to switch out. That's not too much work. You're still in
Yeah, I'm still in
Dillsboro,
Dillsboro, so you're good.
and you've got. Does your stuff go to the bridge site?
Yeah, the other stuff I
Okay.
have goes up to the bridge. Yeah.
All right. Those two, I can push those in. Push that now. Okay. One thing I do wish, because I really like kicking cars in this. It's is very fun to do. But when it comes to, I think kicking cars when it comes to sorting out stuff is really nice. I just wish a lot of these places had more space to do it, especially because the hitboxes in a lot of these cars are really jank when it comes to the switches.
Yeah.
Um, which I don't understand why they set it up to have like the knuckle be the hitbox that interacts with the switch and not the wheels. But I'm not a game dev, so I don't. It might have been a limitation or something. I don't know. It's weird to me because I'm curious on how they set everything up.
Okay. So
Ooh, that's perfect. Well, that pays 76 per car. Wow. How much does the stuff at Robinson pay for then? If that's doing 70, if that's in like the seven, okay. Throw that, launch that. there something under my mouse pad? There's not. I'm just going. Nope, there was. Okay. What did I just launch? I don't know. Oh shoot. Okay, that's I meant to do that. Totally.
What'd you do?
I kicked a car too hard.
Oh, there goes my safety.
Sorry. Nope, don't go that way. Passenger train is in Silva. Gotcha.
You know, I could have sworn I shift clicked the thing and it still didn't close the angle cock.
No? Huh.
I mean, it did do it before, so maybe I didn't catch the shift key good enough, but just weird.
I'm very aggressive with my key clicks because there's been some times where because I've got a mechanical keyboard and sometimes my switches just decide to not register my key clicks.
Yeah, okay.
One of the experiences I'll say when you're trying to panic switch.
Right?
Oh. This is a nice game. I like this.
Yeah, I really like this game so far. I've been really impressed with it.
I'm flabbergasted by the quality that's been put into this with it. Because how long has this been in development for? I know at least 2 years. I think it might be longer than that.
Yeah, I would say it's been on my scope at least a year and a half or better.
Um, I I don't remember. I think the I think his name's Adam, who's the main guy that's doing it. I think this is his first game like he's coded. I think, which is just incredible to me, especially with because I don't have like the highest NPC, and this game is running surprisingly well for how much stuff it's got. I think my biggest complaint so far with it has been the fact that there's no LODs on any of the models. So if you've got something that's like on the other side of the map, it's kind of still fully registered, at least from what I've been able to find.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's been times I've like logged into my game and like it takes it a few minutes to spawn all the stuff.
Um, and the models are okay. I don't. Oh, that car's just not knuckled. All right. What's the? All right, I'll just roll. I'll let it roll. It's not damaged that much. Okay. Um, there are some goofy quirks with the models, but it kind of just comes with it. It's fine. But there are some models that have way too much stuff detailed on them. Like I know I've got a couple GP9s on my save, and they kill my frame rate because the modeler modeled like all of the piping, and they're very detailed models, which isn't a bad thing. But with there being no LODs, when I have 3 of them in one area, my FPS just tanks. And I know how many cars on average do you have in the same area?
I don't know. I mean, if you're like the guys I was playing with last night, they had like 50 to 75 cars in their
I know
interchange.
depending on where, I think there was one night, and I guess it also depends on what else my computer has opened. I think my game was performing so horribly, but I also had, I think 70-ish cars in one area that were all like stacked together. And a lot of the performance issues I've been having could really be fixed with just LODs on the models, but I'm not gonna. I think there's 2 main modelers right now, so I'm not gonna push for that too hard. Um, all right. Set off for. Set off for Bryson, and I'm gonna set. Let's check on what needs to be done here. Oh, that's neat. Apparently, can't teleport to those cars. Okay, that's strange. I have to dig that one out. And all right, gotcha. Oh, we wait. Should probably plug my phone in before I forget.
I appreciate you joining and playing with me. I don't know that I
Oh,
told you that, but
oh yeah, nothing. I just looked out at my Discord and saw, oh, there's a message, and because, why not? You know?
Yeah, somebody was just asking me the other day if I'm still active on Discord or not. Like they hadn't seen anything in a while, and I'm like, oh yeah, I am. But I just have been playing Railroader for a bit now lately.
Um, yeah, I've sunk so much time into this game, and I think it really shines with multiplayer. It's great on its own, but when you've got more people to play with, it definitely shows its true, like, full, I guess,
Full potential. Yeah.
full potential. Yeah, it's um, because my main complaint with just single player is that it gets to a point, depending on where you are, where it just is.
It's too overwhelming. You can't keep up.
Yeah, like I've done my best to break up my days in like increments where like I'm gonna set out my road trains first thing first, and then work section of the railroad. And because I've gotten pretty good at doing certain spots, like I know the Whittier area takes me maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes at most to do now compared to before. But I also tend to run the log trains cut of 8, then a cut of 11, and I just do back and forth with that, so it
Okay.
doesn't take too long. Um, and then I think Bryson right now is, or not, sorry, the Silva with a paperboard. I think that area takes the longest for me to switch out, just because there's a lot of track that you have to uh, go before you can get to some of the spurs where you put cars in.
Yeah, it's
Um,
configured really weirdly.
Which I think that play there is a that's a place that would go with a couple extra crossovers and switches and stuff. Um, One thing I wish too is that you could, I guess, expand the interchanges a little bit, because there's been nights that I've been playing where I've completely filled the interchange with cars, and I've still got a whole yard full that still needs to go to the interchange, and I kind of I
Yeah,
guess
kind
it
of
was a
hosed
bottleneck.
because you can't deliver them and you can't do anything with them.
Yeah. So even just a double track main, or I guess a bigger passing site. I don't really know where you would put a big passing siding, but something that can fit more than 7 cars, or how big is it at Silva? Because I know every train that I have to take down to the interchange is much longer than can reasonably fit into Silva. Yeah, because it can only fit 14 cars. Um,
God. Oh, I'm so roasting.
hmm?
I'm cooking myself. I'm
Oh,
roasting. Well, you have to open the window here before long, just to help get some cooler air in here.
hey, if you want to take a break, that's fine. Um, what specs are you running with it pushing out that much heat?
Well, I got a 80 ton, 80, 2080 uh, RTX running in it.
Okay.
Um, and then let's see what else I got. Let me see what else I've got. Machine, I don't even know. It's been a while since I built it. I mean, it's not a slouch.
No?
It's an i5 9500 3 gigahertz quad core, and it's 32 gigs of RAM.
think you definitely beat me on the RAM aspect. 'Cause I'm only running 16. And
Yeah, I built this so I could play Microsoft Flight Sim. I've been trying to play that game for a long time, and between the video card and the RAM and stuff, I couldn't get it to run. It would like start booting in and then just crash.
um I there's a, I'm trying to think the most intensive game that I have that I run is I think it's Transport Fever, honestly.
Yeah, everybody plays that game. What is it with Transport Fever? I gotta go look up
So
that game.
Transport Fever, it's I like it because it's like a tycoon game. Have you ever played I guess like Open TTD, or I guess Transport Tycoon Deluxe, or whatever that game is? I forget its actual name because I only know the open source port of it. Um, it's kind of in the vein of you're running a transport company, but it's very gamified, where like you're gonna build a line from, say, like this sawmill. You're gonna take the sawmill product and you're gonna deliver it to this place. You're gonna make money from that, going back and forth. So it's very like a transport game, right? Um, I like it because it's just kind of train game, and you can make cool stuff with it, and it can be as silly as you want it or as goofy as you want it. You can run it. You can build stuff to be moderately realistic, or like the goofiest switch shenanigans you can ever think of. But it's not super in depth when it comes to actual like running the trains and the buses and planes, stuff like that. But I like it. It's a really fun game, and it's a very memory intensive, I've found, especially when you get to having a lot of stuff on the map. Which, I mean, once you get a lot of stuff, yeah, it kind of comes with it.
Okay,
Yeah, I did
yeah,
have to.
I'll have to check that out because you're like the fourth or fifth person I've heard talk about Transport Fever, and I have no idea what that game is. So
I'm
apparently,
probably
I'm gonna
not
need to
doing.
go look it up.
I'm probably not doing the best at explaining what it is either, because this is it's not my strong suit. Um, but yeah, definitely go look into it. I strongly recommend it, just because it's a very fun. It's a fun time waster, especially once you get into it. I am that is I am sitting on the running board. What on earth? Oh, I teleported off. Darn, I'm gonna try and take a screenshot of that. I wonder why the. Huh, that's weird.
All right, I finally caved and just opened the window. We'll see if that helps a little.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna have to do something about where this computer's sitting and find a different home for it. I think it's sitting like right under me, cranking out heat when I'm playing these heavy graphic intensive games is not ideal.
I'm really surprised that mine isn't pumping, because like there is heat pumping out of one of my fans, and then the rest of them are just cool air, and it's very confusing. Um, I feel like my top fan shouldn't be pushing out air. Maybe it's sucking in.
I was gonna say they're probably all blowing in, and the one that it's pumping out of is the one that it's coming from the case. Like that's the actual outbound fan, and everything else is pushing in.
I don't know. None of it's water cooled or anything. I really need to clean it though, because I have yet to actually sit down and do that, because I hate the dust.
Yeah, I've got two little fur dust generators too, so that doesn't help me none.
Cats or
Yeah, cats. They're the best cats in
what?
the world. I love them to death, but they are little dust bunny generators.
I've got, I think we've got three cats, but only one of them comes down to visit me. But he sheds so much. If I had my stuff upstairs, it'd probably be catching fire. But My problem isn't really the cats, it's more me because I have super long hair and it sheds off my head a lot.
Okay.
So there's just and I got a
Self-induced issue.
self-induced issue, yeah, but I refuse to cut my hair.
Nice.
Oh.
All right, I'm going to stop in Dillsboro again to top off this locomotive with water. But I am headed to Bryson with that train. And the passenger train is on its way to Bryson as well.
Gotcha.
It's just getting to Wilmot, so it's going to be a bit, but just so you're aware that it's headed that direction.
I will take care of the team track last then. Oh. I do have a couple cars that go to the Appalachian Woods. Yeah, Appalachian Woods. So I'll push past. Yeah, I'll do that first before you get up here. I think I'll have enough time. I'm more worried about the passenger train.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to assume you got some time on that even as well, so you got plenty of time.
Yeah, hopefully. Unless I make a bad switch move again. Because I hope at some point they mess with the hitboxes for the couplers. Because it doesn't make a lot of sense for having the coupler be, oh, if the coupler's over the switch point, you can't. Where it's like, eh.
Yeah, the Berkshire, when you go to try to turn that on the turntable, you have to have it exactly centered. You can't have any of the couplers hanging over the edge of the turntable, or it won't
You can
turn.
turn the Burke on the turntable?
Yeah, you could turn it, but you got to have it exactly centered on the table.
I've heard that you couldn't, like, at least up here in Bryson, the turntable's not big enough.
It is. I did it yesterday.
Huh. All right.
But like I said, you have to have it exactly centered on the turntable. You can't have either of the couplers hanging over the edge. So it takes a little bit of monkeying with it to get it exactly centered on the table.
I always try and get my stuff centered anyways, because it just makes me happy. Do I push these?
All right, so let's see. The CPU is running at 140 degrees.
Oh, because I do got. All right, yeah, I'll drag these and just fly switch that in.
Oh, and it's a 3060, not a 2080. A 3060 RTX. The 3060 is running at 174 degrees.
That's. Yeah, I'm gonna go refuel again. Or not again.
Okay.
And then all of the switches up at Bryson, where all the crossovers are, I just threw those back because I didn't know if you're gonna blitz just right through on the main, or if you're gonna go to the passing siding once you get up here for the cut that goes to the bridge.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to run around it to push it up to the bridge. So we'll have to find a spot to run around it at somewhere there.
So there's a. I guess you could just pull into the yard and run around up there. Probably be the easiest. Oh, I could have. How much coal's in this town? All right, there's enough in there.
You should have one of the cars there. Should be a car, coal car for the Bryson Tower. So
Yeah, I didn't grab it because I kind of forgot, and I didn't really want to dig it out too. What I plan on doing is like doing a weird fly switch move with it, and hopefully that goes well.
Lord. Okay. Yeah, for whatever reason, the temperature app won't let me talk on Discord while the temp app is open, but the CPU is run at 160 and the 3060 graphics card is running at 170.
Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Fahrenheit?
Oh my gosh! I panicked there for a second. I'm like, that's really hot if that was in Celsius. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think it's Fahrenheit.
That I hope it's Fahrenheit. That would melt the little spacer I've got in mine if that was in Celsius, because that's what is
Yeah,
that?
it's Fahrenheit. And one like 130, 160 on the CPU, and then like 170 on the graphics card.
That okay? Yeah, those are. You are cooking the GPU. Hold on. How do you check your temps?
I have a app controlling the lights, the RGB lights in my case, and it's got
Okay.
temperature sensors in it.
Yeah, my GPU's running at um only 60C, which I thought would be running a lot hotter than that. But because I also do you have your I guess the graphic settings for this game cranked up or no?
I think so.
All right, I guess the amount of grass that displays at once. Because I've got mine set down to I think 1 when they forced that. I used to have a bunch of trees up, but
So
because
let's
they
see.
said
I'm running 1920 by 1080 full screen. UI scale is 100%. Limit FPS to 60. Quality ultra. Particle standard. Draw distance is 1.5K. Tree density is 1. Detail density is 1. Field of view is 36. And alternate is 80.
all right, so we've got the same graphic settings outside of the FOV. Or I don't limit my FPS, but it just I like seeing what the number goes up to if my or if the video would like to actually show me my FPS for once in its life.
I only limit it just because I'm streaming, try to reduce the
Yeah.
bandwidth.
I think my biggest bottleneck with my computer right now is my CPU because I've got a 3060, but my CPU is a Ryzen 7 2700, which is just not cutting it anymore with some of the games that I play. And you'd think it's fine, but the 2018 graphics or 2018 CPU moment, I guess. Um, I don't have the funds to replace that right now.
Yeah, they're so friggin' graphic or CPUs are so friggin' expensive.
And another thing too is I've been hesitant to upgrade because of my motherboard as well. I've got an AM4 board, but it can only support up to the 5000s for AMD, and I'm just hesitant because like my PC friends like, oh, be careful with what you put in there because your motherboard might get fried from it. It's like, all right, don't do that to me, please. I just want something better, not have to panic because, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I did the same thing. I bought a new CPU for mine, thinking that it would fit, and it wouldn't. And then nothing would run, and then I had to upgrade the motherboard, and then the motherboard upgrade led to upgrading the RAM, and the upgrading the RAM led to upgrading the hard drive. Like, it just snowballed into basically building a brand new machine.
I want to do that at some point, just because it's fun. I like building quote unquote advanced stuff because it's not really that hard. I don't think, at least. I'm not saying all I've really done is just change the GPU. I haven't done anything with like CPUs and stuff, which I'm just dreading doing that.
Yeah, it's a little bit more tricky now than it was before. It used to be real easy. Um, Back in the like early to mid 90s and even like early 2000s, I built like 5 or 6 machines, and it was like stupid easy. Like you could almost go to like, I think it was like Newegg or M-Wave or somebody. I think it was M-Wave actually. It was like mwave.com. You used to be able to go there and they would do a package deal set where they would actually package the motherboard, the graphics, or no, the motherboard, the processor, the memory together. So like once you pick the motherboard, it would give you the available like the available processors and memory for it.
All right. Okay.
So it made it like stupid easy. Like you couldn't fuck it up. And then the last couple times I didn't get the right stuff. Didn't pay attention to like the specs on the board. Couldn't get stuff to fit right. Couldn't get the motherboard to fit in the case right. Couldn't get the cooler in the case right. Like it was a nightmare when I built this machine. I sent so much crap back.
Um, so I just looked on Newegg and they do the combo builders. I didn't know they did that. What I've been trying to get myself, I want to replace my power supply just to future proof my,
Oh
because
yeah,
my
I did.
case is
I
like
had to do that
decent.
too.
Because I've got a 600 watt, I think, but it's not a good one because I've just got a pre-built that
Okay.
that my dad gave me. So I think it's using one of the cheaper 600 watts, which I don't know how it hasn't exploded yet, to be honest. And then the other thing I want to try and replace is the CPU, because like that's really the only thing I'm worried about with this. I don't want to take
Time capsule.
not really a time capsule. It's, I guess the most recent thing in there would probably be that I put in would definitely be one of the hard drives because I put a 4 terabyte spinnable for pictures and stuff. But the after that it was just the GPU. That's really the only thing I've put in. But everything else is probably 2018, 2019-ish parts, which they work. They do good. Except for this game where, yeah, I don't like going from nice crisp 60, 70 FPS right down to 10 when I go into Bryson, or not Bryson, Build Bro.
All right.
All right,
The
so
passenger train is headed to Whittier.
all right, I am going to do some. I'm going to attempt to get this in there. If it's not, it'll be fine. It'll buff. But I am moving down to Appalachian hardwoods.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
Going set. Push it up to 18. I'm just gonna cut this off now, so I get separated enough, or just throw my entire Okay, well, I guess we're going in there now. All right.
But yeah, this was the first time I've ever done a water cool.
Car is done.
And I did the like radiator cooling block, like the pre kind of assembled one that's like the cooling block with the that goes on the CPU and then the radiator that just gets mounted on the case.
All right.
So it's like a thermal. I don't even know really. I don't really even understand exactly how it works, but I don't think there's a pump on it, so it doesn't like pump the water. It's just the thermal heat circulates the water around it.
That's strange. I don't think I've heard of a
Unless I'm wrong, in the block on the CPU has a little pump in it that's pushing the water around in a circle. I don't know, but um, my understanding was that it was just like a thermal. It just used the laws of thermodynamics or whatever to like move the water around. Like the hot water would rise and the cooler water would come down to the CPU.
Oh, the turntable was very jittery there. Wow. I think it's it'll buff. All right. Yeah, I all I've got for cooling on mine is just I got a CPU cooler that's got a fan on it, and then I don't know where my calipers at. I can measure those real quick. I think they're 140 millimeter fans. I don't know though. They look like they're 140, but I am not the keenest on measuring things. They're 120, I think, or maybe 110. I don't know. Nope, they're 100. They look like. I don't exactly know how to measure those properly. Um, whoop. I just got disconnected.
Okay, try to reconnect back in again. I was updating some software and
All right.
it might have just kicked you accidentally when it was updating.
Multiplayer join. Um. All right. I was gonna say, wow, it froze up. That's the first time I've ever seen wheel spin in this game.
Oh, it's a 6 gig. It's a 6 gig processor, 6 core, or 4 gig
All right.
processor, 6 core, i5.
I've got, I think it's an 8 core, but one thing I don't much like about Railroader is it only uses one core, from
Oh,
what I've
really?
understood. Which yeah, so I think it's only using one core. I don't know fully how to check it, but I was looking at the resource monitor, and my CPU usage is all the way up here, and it's like I think one or two cores that it's being used. I know the second I close out of Firefox, um, my game performance just shoots up drastically. So I think everything's just trying to run off the one core, which is
Oh, that's interesting.
kind of.
Okay.
I think that's more of a Firefox moment because I'm pretty sure that Firefox fires off one of the same core that the Railroader is, which is just not that good.
I put that CPU cooler in the chat.
Um. All right. Okay. Um. Okay. Yeah. It does have a. Is this a? What kind of pump is this? That looks really weird.
Self-lubricated hydraulic bearing. fan speeds. Maximum airflow, minimizing noise. So that's about the fans. I don't know that it has a pump, but I could be wrong.
Um. Says reliable pump, balancing low noise and high performance cooling. It doesn't say anything about it though. So it does have like a little
Okay, so it
small
does
pump.
have some sort of small pump in it pushing the water around.
Yeah.
or coolant or whatever they use in it.
The mysterious juice.
Right? I've wanted to build like an actual full blown legit water cooled pipe system, but I don't know, just something about mixing water and high end PC
Yeah.
components scares the shit out of me.
No, I get it. So my stepfather has a water cooled build, but I think it's like his pump has leaked once, and that has just completely put me off from even trying water cooling. Just because if something like that can happen, and I know he's using, I think it was mineral oil that he's using, so it doesn't damage anything. But like, I don't want to clean that if something like that happens, or
Yeah, right?
like the amount of care that you have to take in putting in the system and making sure there's no air bubbles is kind of scary.
Yeah, just I don't know. That's kind of why I went with this self-enclosed system is like it's pretty hard to screw it up, right? Unless something really bad happens.
Yeah.
It should be once it's installed, I'll never touch it ever again. You know, and I'm not having to custom bend lengths of pipe and specially cut pieces of pipe to make the system work, to make it fit. Like,
Um, I'm fine with my air, and right now it's fairly cold in my room. But I know come summer it runs a bit hotter. But I mean, right now my temps aren't too bad. So, and it's very strange for me to be pumping more cold out of my computer than it is hot. It's very I don't trust that. Something's going wrong. Um, where is the passenger train? Up at Whittier. All right, I'm
yeah,
gonna
it's
plug
just
this.
pulling in at Whittier, so you should be good.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna put this up here a little bit. Make sure that I'm not fouling anything. That am gonna run back upstairs again.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
This room. So that's that. All right, yeah, I should be good to park. I'll be right back.
Okay, no worries.
All right, back.
Sounds good. All right, once we get all this stuff up to the bridge and up to Bryson, I might call it for the night.
That's all right. What time is it for you?
12:30.
Well, it's not. It is 1:40. No, what time? Let me look at my phone. 1:33. My computer time is a bit ahead. I don't know why. I'm gonna fix that now. So I stop. So it's not that late. It's only
So you're Central Time. Where are you located at?
Midwest.
Well, yeah, I know. But where, like Chicago
Oh,
area?
no, more Iowa.
Oh, okay.
No, nothing too
Where at in
crazy.
Iowa?
Cedar Rapids area.
Is Cedar Rapids by Newton?
Um, it's no. It's more around like Iowa City, Coralville.
Okay.
Iowa City. I guess Waterloo might be the closest. Let me check. How do you? It
We were out
is
there a couple years ago in Newton for a fireworks convention.
really. Um, Newton is about me. Okay. Okay, it is an hour and a half away. I thought it was a lot closer than that. Wow. All right. Um, I know. I know there's been some things that I've wanted to go to Newton for. I believe that's where. Do you know Iowa Interstate at all?
Iowa Interstate?
Yeah, it's a Class 2 railroad that operates, or I guess lets a historical society run two big mainline steamers under them.
Oh,
And
really? Okay.
I think in Newton was where they used to be stored at, but they got moved up to Silvis. At least one of them has been moved up to Silvis, and I believe the other one is still in Newton. There are two um, QJs, Chinese QJs, 210-2s, and they're pretty. I love them.
Ah, interesting. If I would have known that, I'd have gone and checked some of that stuff out. We were there for like a week at the Iowa Speedway.
Um, I know as of right now, so the two road numbers it's Iowa Interstate 6988 and then 7081, and I believe 7081 is still in Newton. She's been out of service since I think 2010 ish. I don't remember. Definitely before I started really getting into railroading and stuff. And okay, that's the Bryson team track. Those are gonna go there. I'm gonna have to have both of those going. Do I dig? I'm gonna all right. Dig that out and then 6988 is you might have. I'll grab a picture of it real quick. Because you may have seen this before. It's a very unique steam engine. It's said it in chat or sent it to the yeah. Um, and it's one of my favorites because it's still a Chinese steam engine, but they've just completely overhauled its appearance to look more American. And it's just a very, very unique steam engine in the States. And that's a pretty picture. Um, for a while, they
Oh,
used
wow.
698
Yeah, that's interesting.
as their main steam engine, and I know when it was first delivered too, which I wish I would have been alive for it because I was not around. Um, or no. No, it happened in 2006. Never mind. It's too. Um, Chinese appearance. Is there a picture of 7081 that I can get? That's okay. That's super small and crunchy. Okay. Outer State 7081. And I know this is one of 3 of these QJs that are in the United States. The other one is owned by RJ Corman, or I guess it's at the Kentucky Steam Group, or whatever their name is. Um, Here's a picture of 7081 as well. Very, very pretty engines.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Definitely unique, that's for sure.
Yeah. They are by far my favorite steam engine that I've had the experience of seeing. And I think it's just because of how unique they are, and especially because they're, I don't know, they're just neat little engines, and they're not too big, you know. They're reasonable. Um, where is? I know the first time I saw a 6988 was in 2019, and that's really what just sparked my interest of, oh hey, I want to work for the railroad instead of just sitting trackside and staring. I want to be a part of the. I want to make. I mean, I really just want to work in preservation and stuff, like just keeping things around for future generations to see. Because especially with today, where we just throw everything away, you know, at some point or another, it's, you know, this stuff might disappear, and I don't want to be around for that. I'd rather have this stuff naturally disintegrate into rust and not just be scrapped and burned away. Because there's a lot of history behind a lot of these, I guess machines that aren't really appreciated in my eyes, which is kind of a bummer. Both of this, okay, so those don't have air brakes tied. Gotcha. By the way, you are lined in for the bridge track as well. I flipped that. Yeah, I hit that switch, so you're
Okay.
good to just push on through.
The passenger train will be coming in here momentarily, and I'm right behind it.
Alrighty, I'm currently up at Appalachia, doing trying to dig this Silva car out.
They're working on restoring the Santa Fe locomotive I just posted in the chat, and they just recently had it under its own power.
Oh, what is it? 2926, something like that.
I think so. Yeah, it's like a 410-4, I think.
Um, yeah, 484.
It's friggin' massive. The thing's gigantic.
It's I love big northerns. They're so pretty. I'm not a huge fan of how they have the smoke box painted on Santa Fe steamers. They look very unorthodox, I guess. It's just a strange way of styling, I guess. But I wanted to go and see 2926, but I don't have the money or means to do it right now. Um, I know I've made plans so far to go see, because Canadian Pacific, Kansas City. I'm not saying the mouthful. Canadian Pacific recently restored their little Hudson they've got, and that's going to be cruising through. Um, I'm gonna send a picture of this. This will be cruising through the where Davenport area in a May, I think. No, I think it was April or May. I don't remember. So I kind of want to go down and see it because I'm not a huge fan of Canadian Steam, but it's a big choo choo, and I want to go see Big Choo Choo.
Have you caught any of the big boys rolling through Iowa?
So I on it to basically one of its first. I think it was like its big mainline tour that they did in 2019. I managed to, or maybe it was 2020. It was 21. I don't know. Dates are weird. But I got to see it in basically between Rochelle, Rochelle, Illinois, all the way to Des Moines, Iowa. Me and my mother for like I think it was like a day just chased the thing. Maybe it was 2 days. I don't remember. But we chased it through and just kind of got because that's really for me that's kind of a once in a lifetime thing because Union Pacific is very weird with how they do their excursions. But they're going to be. I don't know what the track. Hold on, let me check my UP Steam schedule. I think this is. Okay, it does not have a track map yet. Cool. They're doing another mainline tour this year. There's no really information about it other than it's going to go to Chicago, Illinois, um, Fort Worth, and Dallas and Fort Worth, Texas, Houston, Texas, Ogden, Utah, and Roseville, California. So it's gonna go around their system. All I care about is it's coming up to me again, and as much as I prefer like 3985. It's gonna take a couple more years before 3985 is back in service. Cause God bless the people up at the Silvis place doing or trying to actually get 3985 back up steaming again.
Is that the one that they moved to like the Illinois Railroad Museum or some? They moved it to another place
Oh
from
the yeah
Cheyenne.
the yeah so they moved 3985, 5511, and then their DDA 40X. I forget the number. Up through, and I got to catch that too because it rolled through on the Iowa Interstate system when it came through Iowa, and that was the most bewildering thing I think I will ever see on that line of just big Union Pacific train on a small little Class 2 railroad. It was very small, but like it was very strange. Um, I think I've got the pictures that I took on my hard drive. I don't really know. Let me see if it'll actually. Okay, cool. It'll open. Um, oh, I've got. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so yeah, I do have the pictures I took. They're not great by any means because I wasn't in the best of spot, but they're okay. Except for the pictures of the Centennial. But not good, but the main show for me was 3985 and 5511. And I will say 5511 has some of the weirdest valve gear I've ever seen on a steam engine. It's really weird watching it move. Um, 5511 too is just a really aesthetically weird looking steam engine because it's got a really strange overhang on the smoke box. But I think that's just a thing with Union Pacific steamers. Now that I think about it, no, this thing is really weird looking. Wow. Dude, they're yeah. So like just the boiler, just like, in general, peeks out over the lead wheel. It does so on some of their Mikados as well. So this is a good picture of it from the side. It's not the same class, but the same boiler overhang. It's very strange. Like, and why didn't it? Yeah, I guess the gray part of the boiler sticks out really weird over the pilot, and it's very strange. But it's an aesthetic choice. There is probably some reason why they have that like it is that I'm just not smart enough to understand because I don't understand the inner workings of their like Union Pacific calls them TTTs. I'm not gonna call them that. I'm just gonna call it a 5511. Yeah. I have a feeling that's probably it, just to help it steam better. Because I wonder what the firebox size on it is compared. I think they're superheated. I don't know. When were they built? Hold on. UPTPT6. Come here's. There's a whole Wikipedia. Let's look at Union Pacific's website because they've actually got something on it. I'd probably be in Foamer territory, but I'm also just a massive nerd for really small, nitty-gritty details of things. I love the technical aspect of a lot of everything that I do. Now that I think about it, all of my hobbies, I do my best to learn everything I can. But it's also good because I can't really apply this for like a train per se, but like one of my other hobbies I do is airsoft stuff, and it's really nice being able to just know what my thing is doing, and then know, oh hey, it's making this noise, and this is the reason why, and just be able to troubleshoot on the fly instead of having to pay somebody $300,000 to fix my little broken gear. Bit of an overstretch, but like that, and I like just knowing little nerdy stuff because then I can talk to other people and teach them. And as bad as I am at teaching and telling about things, it makes me happy. I do better when there's more questions than me talking because I end up rambling so much. Where did my lid go? That just launched off. That's fine. I got another one on my desk somewhere. You. Alright, you are pulling in. I'm gonna just triple check that switch is lined. It is. Alright. Get this car shoved in. Let me know when you're pulled in and parked, and because I'm gonna push this in and then wait for you, and then I'm gonna. No, I've got just a little bit more, so you're good to push your thing in, or are you still running around? Okay. All right. So yeah, that'll have. All right. Yeah, if you're gonna do that, then I'll go ahead and pull my stuff back up there then. Yeah, that's what I usually do on my save is just grab all the silver cars that I can and just tuck them up in like somewhere in the Bryson yard. Because I like having eastbound and westbound trains just because it's nice to be able to sit trackside and watch stuff and take pictures. Um, Where are you located at? All right. Yeah, if you can at some point, you should try and see about going up because it's one thing to look at it in pictures, and it's just another thing to walk up and stand next to it and go, wow. Um, and I know up in Missouri, um, I know there's probably other museums, but I know they have a big boy at the National Museum of Transportation in Missouri, in St. Louis, Missouri, and their cab is open for, so it's I haven't gone in such I've been meaning to go back because that's one of my favorite places I've gone to. I've got a lot of good memories there, and I'm coming up out of. All right, you're good. Um. Uh. Where was it? All right. I don't know how to talk. Apparently, goodness gracious. Yeah, their cab is open, so you can go in, you can sit, you can play with some of the controls, and just kind of experience it in a better way. But I think 4014 is definitely the just ultimate. We're just gonna restore Big Choo Choo. Um, I wish Union Pacific would have gone with the Challenger, but from what I understand, the crew that restored the Challenger in the night in the 80s did something really strange to them. So, all right, from what I understand, they have a they donated the Challenger to the um, Midwest Railroad Historical Society or whatever, or the Railroad RRH. Not the Midwest Central. Railroading Heritage of Midwest America. That's the group. So they donated the Challenger, the 5511, and then the Centennial. They donated those three. And I think they said the only catch is when you have to convert the tender to oil burner because technically speaking, Union Pacific just took the Challenger's tender and put it behind the big boy. So on um the Challenger, the tender is still marked 4014, which is really goofy. Um Oh, they also have a little Santa Fe engine too, huh? Oh, hey, it happened again. Equipment, there's a whole equipment tab. I don't think it's been updated anytime or for a while because oh, they got a bunch of coaches too. Okay. I didn't get to see their coach move. All right, you're good to shove on through by the way if you're ready. All right. Yeah. Um I'm just going to go tuck this Silva car up with the other Silva car that's there. I'm just going to sit here and wait for the passenger to move out. Oh, I can do that real quick. These cars look very brown. They're not even that damaged. Okay. Huh. passengers. All right, I'm gonna send the passenger train backwards. Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna dig it out and then. Alrighty. Usually, because it's only, I guess, 12 in game. So the best, at least to make sure that you've got everything, because I like waiting until everything that's in the area, I guess, is good to go back. So like, I don't remember how long these cars take to unload, but
It's usually been longer than a day. I think most of these have been sitting here for like 2 days.
alrighty. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done this area, so um,
But that was all with tier 1, so they may fill faster now that they're mostly a tier 2.
I'm more meaning the bridge train.
Oh, yeah, that's going to take at
Yeah.
least a day, I think.
So usually what I would do is I'd wait for the cut of the bridge stuff, or like all the cars that I ordered to get like done and dealt with, and then I run that back because they don't make you money. So I just want to get them off my system as quick as I can. Um, because otherwise they're just kind of sitting in fouling places where I don't need them.
Okay.
Because I don't think they take down your reputation at all, but I don't really know how the reputation works, to be fully honest. Yeah, it's just the cars that you order, I try and get rid of as fast as possible, but otherwise, like, the stuff, because I think that you have, like, a day leniency of getting stuff back to the interchange before the industries get mad. All of these up here, those aren't loaded yet. This cut of lumber that's at the sawmill as well, the 4 cars I delivered are almost loaded as well. I probably should have waited to. No, I couldn't have gotten around it. Never mind. I was gonna say I probably could have waited to get the passenger train going, and I could just tack the number 2 on it, and just drag or I guess deadhead it back. But it'll move. It'll work out.
That is true. All 3 engines are up. Well, all 3 engines were up here.
Yeah. I guess you can just, cause I can turn my engine around too at the turntable and get it lined back on the Unless you want me to just send this back with the Silva cars.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll figure that out when I play again. Because this engine really probably needs to go back with the Silva cars too. So I can maybe deadhead the second locomotive back to Whittier.
Alrighty.
Because I've been trying to leave that one in Whittier to just do logging and then do the freight with this one and then let the other one do the passenger service. But
Yeah. What I eventually switched to doing was I have a dedicated switcher for each location.
yeah, I mean, I'll probably do that as well, but I'm not there yet.
Once you start to get better road engines, like for where you are right now, I think the better engine to get is the C25 or the G25, sorry, because it apparently is just better than the C25. What's its? Oh, sheesh. All right. Let me pull up the little sheet that I've got. I typically look at it can pull up a 1%, almost 800 tons for the G25, and the C25 is like 1 ton less, so they're about equal, but the G25 has more water and coal storage and is smaller overall because it's just a big mogul. Um, I wish I would have bought it because I ended up having to sell my the two Connies I bought to try and do road stuff because they couldn't be used anywhere else because of their size. And you're up there.
Okay.
That boom.
Oh, okay.
Um, I, I'm not gonna tell you how to run your railroad. I'm just a worker.
No, I mean, like, I've been looking and like people have been offering their opinions and stuff, so I'll have to, look at some of that when I get to that point. But
Um, I've got this sheet. Where's the? There we go. I'll put it in chat real quick. Yeah, I've been using that a lot to. Oh yippee! I leveled up. I use it to kind of justify like my purchases and stuff. Like at all of the places so far, I have a S23 because it's just a little 060, and I have a weird thing for 060 switchers. They're just so cool to me. Probably doesn't help that was like the first model train that I got was just a little 060, so um and then on like my logging stuff I've got a K35 and then my two road engines are the D46s. I kind of just have everything built for, or I guess I buy things and then just don't replace them, which is a problem that I've been struggling with because now I have power issues, unfortunately. Because I decided it'd be a grand idea to buy two Pacifics and just use that for coal. I mean it's pretty, and I mean it's a game, so I do what I want. It's my railroad, and I don't know how I'm still making profit. I am clear of the switch. Had to move it back about a millimeter. All right, cool.
all right, once you get that pushed in, we'll I think we'll call it so I can head to bed.
Alrighty. Yeah, that's fine. I'd say I'm going to bed, but I'm probably not, knowing me. I still got a little bit of energy in me.
All right, guys. Well, that's gonna do it for us
Right,
here on the stream.
I'm just gonna
Join us later
right in the rest of the way.
next week. We'll see.
Fouling the main.
I have some.
All right, kicking it was.
You could have pulled that back out into the yard. That would have been fine.
All right. I just got it tucked in. Do you want me to pull it back up there or no?
No, it's fine where it is. We can leave
Alright.
it there for now.
Alrighty.
Well, man, I appreciate it, and thanks. Like I said, thanks for joining me on the stream, and thanks for hanging out with me. So, and if you ever need any help on your railroad and you see me online, yeah, hit me up.
I'll try to remember.
No worries.
Bye.
All right, take it easy. All right, guys. Well, that does it for us tonight. And next week we may have a unique. We may not be streaming as frequently. I've got some work that's due, and probably be working a little bit of overtime next week trying to catch up on some stuff. But if you guys see me online, be sure to stop in and say hello. Till then, we'll see you guys later. Take it easy.